Human history is written by those who dared to leave the shore. For millennia, the water was an impassable wall, a terrifying void. But a spark of genius changed everything. A simple fallen tree became a bridge into the unknown. We didn't just float, we began to command the currents. In that era, success was measured by survival and curiosity. A hollowed-out canoe allowed us to hunt where death once ruled. A reed raft gave us the power to trade with our neighbors. In the first sail, a simple piece of cloth catching the invisible hand of the wind was the moment we realized we could bend the forces of nature to our will. This was the birth of the maritime spirit. A journey that began in a quiet stream forest was destined to lead us to the very edge of the world.
As civilizations flourished along the Nile and the Tigris, the scale of our ambitions grew. The simple log was no longer enough. We needed power. This era belonged to the rowers, hundreds of men moving in perfect unison, turning the ship into a living machine. The Greek trireme and the Roman galley weren't just vessels, they were the apex of ancient engineering, designed for one thing: dominance. Success now meant control over trade routes and the strength to defend them. In the East, the Chinese junk introduced the concept of the bulkhead, making ships nearly unsinkable and allowing for massive crews. We learned to build higher, stronger, and faster. The river was our cradle, but the open sea was calling. This was the moment when humanity stopped just floating with the current and started carving its own path through the waves, building the foundations of the first great empires.
The horizon was no longer a limit. It became a challenge. The 15th century demanded a new kind of success, the courage to sail into the abyss. Enter the caravel and the galleon, the titans of the age of discovery. These ships were the spaceships of their time, equipped with lateen sails to dance with the wind and massive hulls to carry the riches of new worlds. They turned the ocean into a global highway. For the first time, a captain in Lisbon could change the fate of an empire in Asia. But this success came at a price. These wooden walls faced storms that could swallow fleets and isolation that broke the strongest wills. Yet those who survived redefined the world map. Wealth, spice, and gold flowed across the Atlantic, fueled by the relentless evolution of sails and rigging. The world was finally connected, and the ocean became the ultimate stage for human glory.
Then came the roar of the Industrial Revolution. The whims of the wind were no longer enough for a world that demanded speed and reliability. Success was now forged in iron and fueled by coal. The majestic sails that had ruled for millennia began to fade, replaced by the rhythmic thumping of steam engines and the churning of massive paddle wheels. Ships like the Great Eastern and the early ironclads transformed the sea from a battlefield of luck into a theater of industrial might. We encased our ambitions in steel, building floating cathedrals of luxury like the great ocean liners. These giants could cross the Atlantic in days, not months. The ocean hadn't changed, but we had. We no longer asked the wind for permission. We commanded the waves with fire and pressure. This was the era of the machine, where the scale of success was measured in tons of steel and the horsepower of the human spirit.
Today, the ocean is the silent backbone of the world. 90% of everything you touch arrived by sea. Success in the modern age is a masterpiece of logistics in sheer scale. From the terrifying precision of a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier to the humble but mighty container ship, we have achieved total mastery over the blue frontier.
We build ships so large they have their own zip codes, and engines so powerful they could light up entire cities. But the essence remains the same as that first log on the river: the desire to reach further, to trade more, and to secure our place in history. As we look toward the future, to autonomous vessels and eco-friendly giants, we realize that the ship is more than just a tool. It is the physical manifestation of our journey. From a hollowed-out tree to a satellite-guided Titan, the story of the ship is the story of us. And as long as there is an ocean, the Success Chronicles will continue to sail.